The Great Hall on Nexus Prime was huge and scary. Its walls were made of blue crystal that glowed softly in the dark. The ceiling was so high that clouds formed near the top. This was where the Galactic Council met to decide the fate of entire worlds. Do-yeon Kim walked into the hall with slow, steady steps. His black shoes clicked on the smooth floor. Behind him, his helper Minha Park carried a simple briefcase. Both humans wore dark blue uniforms with the Earth symbol on their chest. The aliens in the hall turned to look at them. There were 47 different species sitting in tall chairs around the room. Some looked like giant lizards. Others had too many arms or eyes that glowed in the dark. A few floated in the air instead of sitting. "Humans," said High Counselor Thex in a deep voice. He was the leader of the Vorthan Empire. His skin was covered in green scales and his teeth were sharp. "Like a shark, you have kept us waiting." Do-yeon stopped in the center of the hall. A bright light shone down on him from above. He looked small compared to the giant aliens around him. "Came as soon as we could," Do-yeon said. His voice was calm and quiet. Dex stood up from his chair. He was 3 times taller than any human. "Today we end this problem. Your species has grown too bold. You take planets without asking. You build ships without permission. You act like you own the galaxy." Other aliens nodded and made angry sounds. Some clicked their claws. Others buzzed with their wings. "The council has been patient," said Counselor Nex. He looked like a giant bug with 4 arms. But patience has limits. Minha Park stood next to Do-yeon. She did not speak, but her eyes watched everything. She had been to many meetings like this. She knew the aliens were trying to scare them. "Here are our demands," Thex said. Pressed a button, and words appeared in the air above them. The letters were 10 feet tall so everyone could read them. First, humans will give 70% of their military ships to the Council. Second, humans will stop building new ships without Council permission. Third, humans will give us all their technology for making faster-than-light travel. Fourth, Council observers will live on every human world to watch what you do. The hall was quiet except for the sound of alien breathing. Some aliens breathed through their mouths. Others made whistling sounds through holes in their heads. Dex continued, "Humans will pay tribute to the Council every year. Food, metals, and energy crystals. Sixth, no human ship may travel between star systems without Council approval." More demands appeared in the air. Each one was worse than the last. Seventh, humans will limit their population growth. No more than 1 billion humans may live on any single world. Eighth, all human scientific research must be approved by the Council first. Do-yeon listened to every word. His face showed no emotion. Minha Park wrote notes on a small tablet. "These are not requests," Thex said. "These are orders. You will obey or face the consequences." "What consequences?" Do-yeon asked. Dex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Blockade. Isolation. Your species will be cut off from the rest of the galaxy. Your ships will not be allowed to travel. Your worlds will be alone. And if we still refuse," Do-yeon asked, "then the Council will take action to protect galactic peace," Dex said. "Your species will be brought under control by force if necessary." Other aliens made sounds of agreement. They clicked and buzzed and roared. The noise filled the great hall. "You have 1 hour to decide," Dex said. "Accept our terms or face the consequences." Do-yeon looked around the hall, saw the alien faces staring at him. Some looked angry. Others looked satisfied. They all expected him to beg or argue or get angry. Instead, Do-yeon reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a small device. That looked like a phone. He pressed a button and spoke into it. "This is Ambassador Kim. Send the message to Earth. Code 7. Minha Park nodded. She pressed buttons on her tablet, sending the same message. "What are you doing?" Thex demanded.
Dex demanded.
Do-yeon said. "You gave us one. Hour, we will use it." The aliens waited. Some of them talked to each other in their own languages. Others just stared at the humans. Crystal walls glowed brighter as the sun outside began to set. After 50 minutes, Do-yeon's device beeped. He looked at the screen and nodded. Then he put the device away. "We have an answer," he said. Dex leaned forward in his chair. "Good. Read your surrender terms. Do-Yen reached into Minna's briefcase and pulled out a single sheet of paper. It was white and simple, with just a few lines of text. The United Earth Federation has considered the Council's demands, Do-Yen said. His voice carried clearly through the hall. Our response is as follows. He held up the paper so everyone could see it. There were only 3 words written on it. In large black letters, we refuse everything. The hall exploded in noise. Aliens roared and screeched and buzzed. Some jumped up from their chairs. Others slammed their fists on the table. Silence, Vex shouted. His voice was so loud that dust fell from the ceiling. You dare refuse the Council's mercy? We do, Do-Yen said. He folded the paper and put it back in the briefcase. You will be destroyed, Vex roared. Your species will be crushed. Maybe, Do-Yen said. But we will not be slaves. He turned to leave. Minha Park walked beside him toward the exit. You cannot leave, Vex shouted. We are not finished. Do-Yen stopped at the door. He turned back to look at the angry aliens. Yes, we are finished, he said. Humanity withdraws from the Galactic Council. We will not return to these meetings. We will not follow your rules. We will not pay your tribute. You will regret this, Vex screamed. The Council will make you pay. The Council's welcome to try, Do-Yen said. But they will have to catch us first. The door closed behind the humans with a soft sound. The aliens were left alone in their great hall, screaming and arguing with each other. Outside the building, Minha Park spoke for the first time since entering the hall. Do you think they will really try to blockade us? She asked. Do-Yen smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. They will try, he said. But they have no idea what they are dealing with. They think humans are just another weak species to be controlled, and we are not, Minha asked.
Out.
Do-Yen said. They are about to learn that the hard way. They walked to their ship under the alien stars. Behind them, the great hall still glowed with angry voices. The Council was making plans to punish humanity, but humanity was making plans of their own, and those plans would change the galaxy forever. The age of human submission was over. The age of human independence had begun, and the aliens had no idea what was coming. 3 months had passed since the humans walked away from the Galactic Council. Now the aliens were angry and ready to punish them. Captain Jinwoo Lee stood on the bridge of his ship, the UEF Chen. Through the big window, he could see space. Filled with alien warships, they were everywhere, like angry bees around a hive. How many ships did they have out there? Ginwo asked. Lieutenant Commander Unishin looked at her screen. I count 237 alien ships, sir. They are blocking all the space roads that lead to human worlds. Jinwoo nodded. The aliens had put their ships at every important spot in space. No human ship could travel between planets without going through them first. Sir, said Communications Officer Haiyan Nam, the alien commander is calling us. He wants to talk. Put him on the big screen, Jinwoo said. The screen flickered and showed an alien face. It was Commodore Gex of the Vorthan Empire. It was green. Scales were darker than usual, which meant he was excited about something. Human ship, Gex said, in a voice like rocks grinding together. You are ordered to stop and prepare for inspection. You will then turn around and go back to your planet. And if we refuse, Gex smiled. Gex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. Then we will destroy you. Your species chose to defy the Council. Now you will learn what that means. Behind Gex, the bridge of his ship was full of alien soldiers. They all looked ready for a fight. You're just a science ship, Jinwoo said. We are not carrying weapons or soldiers. It does not matter, Gex said. No human ships are allowed to travel. This is your final warning. The screen went dark. Around the Inchin, the alien ships moved closer. Their weapons were charging up, ready to fire. Sir, Yuna said quietly, they have enough firepower to destroy us 100 times over. You should surrender. Jinwoo sat back in his captain's chair. He looked calm, but inside he was excited. The aliens had no idea what they were about to see. Haiyan sent a message to Earth Command. Tell them the blockade is working exactly as expected. Sir Haiyan looked confused. Should I ask for help?
Ow.
No, Jinwoo said. Tell them we are beginning the test. Yuna, is the new engine ready? Yuna's eyes went wide. Sir, the Prometheus engine is still being tested. Command said to only use it if we had no other choice. I think this counts as no other choice, Jinwoo said. Turn on the engine. But sir, we do not know if it will work properly. It might destroy us. Yeah, the aliens will definitely destroy us if we do nothing, Jinwoo said. At least this way we have a chance. Turn on the engine. Yuna's hand shook as she pressed the buttons. Prometheus engine starting up. All systems show green lights. The ship began to hum with a strange sound. It was not like any engine the humans had used before. The lights on the bridge flickered and changed color. What are they doing? Gex asked on his ship. A science officer, a bug-like alien named Zix, was staring at his instruments. I do not know, sir, Zix said. Their energy readings are very strange. I have never seen anything like this. Are they trying to run away? Gex asked. I do not think so, sir. They are not moving. On the Inchin, Jinwoo watched as his ship's systems changed. The walls seemed to become transparent. Then he could see space, but it looked different. The stars were not in the right places. Engine at full power, Yuna reported. We are ready for dimensional shift. What does that mean? Asked pilot Sunho Park. It means we are going to travel through a different kind of space, Jinwoo explained. Instead of going around the alien ships, we will go through a place where they cannot follow. Is that possible? Sunho asked. We are about to find out, Jinwoo said. Execute dimensional shift. Yuna pressed the final button. The ship seemed to fade away like smoke. One moment it was there, the next moment it was gone. On the alien ship, Gex stared at his screen in shock. Where did it go? I do not know. Sir, Zix said, his voice was shaking. It just disappeared. Our sensors show nothing. Ships do not just disappear. Gex roared, find it. All 237 alien ships began searching. They used every kind of sensor they had. They looked for heat, for metal, for energy. They found nothing. Sir Zix said quietly, I think they are gone. Gone where? Gex demanded. I do not know, sir. Where we cannot detect. Light years away, the Inchin appeared in empty space. The bridge crew looked around in amazement. Did we just travel 3 light years in 5 seconds? Asked yes, Yuna said, checking her instruments. All systems are working perfectly. The dimensional engine works. Jinwoo smiled. Send a message to all human ships. Tell them the blockade is useless. We can go anywhere we want. Sir Hyen said, I am getting reports from other human ships. They are all testing the new engine. It works for everyone. Good, Jinwoo said. Now let us go back and watch what the aliens do. The Inchin appeared behind the alien fleet. The aliens did not see them because the ship was invisible to their sensors. Sir, Zix reported to Gex, there is something strange happening. Our long-range sensors are picking up human ships all over the galaxy. They are appearing in places where our blockade should have stopped them. That is impossible, Gex said. We have ships at every space road. Yes, sir. But the humans are not using the space roads. They are traveling some other way. Gex felt fear growing in his chest. What other way? I do not know, sir. But they are moving freely everywhere. The blockade is not working. On the Inchin, Jinwoo watched as the alien ships began to panic. They were flying in circles, trying to figure out where the humans had gone. Sir, Yuna said, we are getting reports from human colonies. Our cargo ships are delivering supplies using the dimensional engine. The aliens cannot stop them, and our military ships? Dean Wu asked. They are appearing behind alien patrols and then disappearing before the aliens can react. The aliens are getting very confused. Jinwoo nodded. Phase 2 of the plan is working. The aliens thought they could trap us. Instead, they have shown us that we do not need their permission to travel. Sir Hyan said, I am getting a message from Admiral Choi. He says the test is complete. All human ships should return to base. Tell the Admiral that the dimensional engine works perfectly, Jinwoo said. The aliens cannot blockade what they cannot see. As the Inchin prepared to leave, Jinwoo looked at the alien fleet one more time. They were still searching for human ships that were no longer there. Sir, Sunho asked, what happens now? The aliens learned that humans are not as helpless as they thought, Jinwoo said. They wanted to cage us. Instead, they have freed us. The Inchin faded away into dimensional space, leaving the confused aliens behind. The blockade was still there, but it was blocking nothing. The humans had found a way to travel that the aliens had never imagined. In the command center of the alien fleet, Gex stared at his empty screens. The humans were gone, but they could be anywhere. The blockade that was supposed to punish them had become useless, sir, Zik said quietly. What do we do now? Gex did not answer. He did not know what to do. Humans had technology that the aliens did not understand. The Council's plan was falling apart, and somewhere in the darkness of space, human ships were moving freely, going wherever they wanted to go. 6 months after the blockade began, strange things were happening across the galaxy. On the planet Nexus Prime, Emergency Economic Counselor Vex was reading reports that made his forearms shake with fear. The numbers are very bad, he said. To his assistant, a small gray alien named Pip. Trade between planets has dropped by 60%. Factories are closing. People are losing their jobs. Pip's big eyes blinked rapidly. But sir, we have the blockade. Humans cannot trade with anyone. This should not be affecting us. That is what we thought, Vex said sadly, but we were wrong. On Earth, Minister Wonho Park sat in his office, looking at very different reports. His assistant analyst, Sora Kim, was smiling as she read the numbers. Our internal trade is growing every day, Sora said. Human colonies are trading with each other more than ever before. Our economy is getting stronger. What about the aliens? Wonho asked. Their economy is falling apart, Sora said. It turns out they needed us much more than we needed them. Wonho nodded. The Council made a big mistake. They thought we were dependent on them. They did not realize they were dependent on us. Back on Nexus Prime, Vex was preparing for an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. The news he had to share would shock everyone. The Great Crystal Hall was full of worried aliens. High Counselor Vex sat in his big chair, but he did not look as confident as before. His green scales were pale, and his eyes were tired. Report, Dex said in a voice that was not as strong as usual. Vex stood up slowly. His forearms were full of papers and data tablets. The economic situation is a disaster, he said. Our trade networks are collapsing. How is that possible? Demanded Counselor Nex, the bug-like alien. We blocked the humans. They cannot trade with anyone. That is correct, Vex said. But we have discovered something terrible. The humans were not just part of our economy. They were the most important part. The hall became very quiet. You could hear the sound of alien breathing and the hum of the crystal walls, explained Vex said. Vex pressed a button, and numbers appeared. In the air above them, human shipping companies carried 70% of all cargo between planets. When they stopped working, most trades stopped too. The aliens made sounds of surprise and fear. Some clicked their claws nervously. Others buzzed their wings. But we have our own shipping companies, protested Counselor Czar from the Hegemony Union. Yes, Vex said, but they are slow and expensive. Human ships were fast and cheap. Without them, the cost of moving goods has gone up by 300%. More numbers appeared in the air. Each one was worse than the last. Human factories made 60% of all manufactured goods in the galaxy, Vex continued. Their factories were more efficient than ours. They could make things faster and better. Where are these goods coming from now? Asked Counselor Yil, a floating alien with tentacles. They are not, Vex said simply. There are shortages of everything. Food, tools, medicines, electronic parts. Planets that used to have everything they needed now have nothing. On the planet Keth, alien families were standing in long lines waiting for food. The stores were mostly empty. The few things available were very expensive. This is the humans' fault, said an alien mother to her children. They caused this problem. Her children were hungry, and they did not care whose fault it was. They just wanted something to eat. Back in the council hall, Vex was sharing more bad news. Human banks handled 80% of all money transfers between planets, he said. Without them, it is very difficult to buy or sell anything across star systems. We have our own banks, Vex said, but his voice was weak. Yes, but they are Not connected to each other very well, Vex explained. The human banking system was much better. It was faster and more secure. What about our own trade? Asked Counselor Nex. It is chaos, Vex said. Ships are arriving at planets with no way to get paid. Factories are closing because they cannot get the materials they need. Entire planets are running out of basic supplies. The aliens in the hall were starting to panic. Some were talking to each other in worried voices. Others were making angry noises. How long can this continue? Vex asked. Not much longer, Vex said. Some planets are already talking about leaving the Council to make their own deals with the humans. This news hit the aliens like a bomb. The Council's power came from controlling its member planets. If planets started leaving, the Council would become weak and useless. On Earth, President Minju Song was meeting with her advisors. The reports from space were very different from what the aliens were hearing. Our colonies are doing better than ever, reported Trade Minister Kyun Jin. Without the Council's rules and taxes, they can trade freely with each other. What about the aliens who want to trade with us? Minju asked. More every day, Kyun Jin said. The Terran Confederation has officially asked to start trade relations. The Nexari Republic sent a secret message asking for help. Even some core council worlds are trying to contact us. Minju smiled. The council thought they were punishing us. Instead, they punished themselves. Back on Nexus Prime, the emergency meeting was getting worse. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. The Altari system is experiencing food riots, reported one alien. Zenthon colonies are running out of medical supplies. The Vega trade stations are empty. This is temporary, Vex said, but he did not sound like he believed it. The council is strong. We'll find other solutions. Sir, said Vex quietly, I have more bad news. The Kalari Union has announced they are leaving the council. They are going to start trading with the humans directly. The hall exploded in angry voices. Aliens roared and clicked and buzzed. Some jumped up from their chairs. They cannot do that, Vex shouted. We are the legal authority. They say they have no choice, Vex said. Their people are starving. The humans have offered to provide food and supplies. It is a trap, Vex said. The humans are trying to destroy the council. Maybe, Vex said, but right now, the humans are the only ones who can help these planets survive. Over the next few days, more bad news arrived. The Epsilon Consortium left the council. The Hegemony Union started secret talks with humans. Even planets that had always been loyal to the council were reconsidering their position. Sir Pip said to Vex one morning, I have a question. Why are the humans doing so well while we are suffering? Vex looked tired. He had been working for days trying to find solutions to the economic crisis. Because we made them strong, he said. For years, we forced them to be efficient, made them find better ways to do things. We taught them to be independent. Now, Pip asked. Now they do not need us, Vex said. But we need them. We need them very much. In the Crystal Hall, High Counselor Vex sat alone in his big chair. The other aliens had gone to their planets to deal with the crisis. The hall, that had once been full of confident voices, was now empty and quiet. Vex looked at the reports on his desk. Every number told the same story. The council was failing. The blockade was not hurting the humans. It was destroying the alien economy. What have we done? He asked the empty hall. But there was no answer. The humans were free and growing stronger. The aliens were trapped by their own plan. And somewhere in space, human ships were carrying food and supplies to alien worlds that were ready to abandon the council forever. Admiral Taeon Choi stood in the command center on Earth, looking at screens full of information. For months, human ships had been flying around alien space without being caught. They had learned many secrets. What did our spy missions find out? He asked Intelligence Director Yoon Ha-young. Yoon Ha smiled as she looked at her reports. The aliens are not as strong as they pretended to be, sir. Our military is much weaker than we thought. Show me, Taeon said. The big screen lit up with pictures of alien warships. But these were not the scary pictures the aliens usually showed. These were detailed scans that showed everything. Their ships are big, but they are not efficient, Yoon Ha explained. They use old technology. Their weapons are powerful, but very slow. Their engines waste a lot of energy. Taeyeon studied the images carefully. What about their defenses? Thick armor, but it is heavy and makes their ships slow. Their shields are strong, but they use too much power. Most importantly, their sensors are not very good. That explains why they cannot find our ships, Taeyeon said. Yes, sir. They have been the strongest force in the galaxy for so long that they stopped trying to improve. They never had to fight anyone who could challenge them. On the Vorthon flagship Dominator, Commodore Gex was having a very different conversation. His bridge crew looked nervous and scared. Report, Gex said to his sensor officer, a bug-like alien named Zix. We have lost contact with the patrol group. 7, Zix said quietly. That makes 12 patrol groups in the last month. Equipment failure, Gex asked, but he already knew the answer. No, sir. We found the wreckage later. The ships were destroyed by weapons we have never seen before. Gex's scales turned darker with anger and fear. How many ships did the attackers use? We do not know, sir. Our survivors say the attacks came from nowhere. One moment space was empty, the next moment their ships were exploding. That is impossible, Gex said. Ships cannot become invisible. Human ships can, sir, Zix said very quietly. The bridge became silent. Everyone knew about the human ships that could disappear and reappear anywhere. But knowing about them and fighting them were very different things. How many human ships are there? Gex asked. We do not know, sir. Our intelligence, said they, had maybe 50 large warships. But we are seeing attacks in 17 different star systems at the same time. They cannot be in 17 places at once, Gex said. Maybe they can, sir. Their technology is very different from ours. What Gex did not know was that the humans were using their dimensional drive to make one ship look like many. A single human warship could attack a target, disappear into dimensional space, travel instantly to another location, and attack again. To the aliens, it looked like hundreds of human ships were everywhere at once, back on Earth. Taeyeon was reading reports from human ship captains across the galaxy. Captain Lee reports successful strike on alien supply convoy in the Vega system, his aide reported. No human casualties.
Oh.
Alien ships destroyed. Captain Park destroyed an alien communication station near Altair, another aide said. The aliens lost contact with 3 star systems. Captain Yoon disabled the alien sensors around the Centauri jump point, said a third aide. Human ships can now move through that area without being detected. Taeyeon nodded with satisfaction. The aliens still think this is about blocking trade routes. They do not understand that we are taking apart their entire military network. Sir Yunha said, we have intercepted alien communications. They are very confused. Their commanders do not know where we will strike next. Good, Taeyeon said. Confusion is our greatest weapon. On Nexus Prime, Fleet Admiral Kex of the Hegemony. Union was trying to explain the military situation to High Counselor Thex. The news was not good. Our fleets are being destroyed piece by piece, Kex said. The voice was tired and defeated. The humans are picking off our ships one by one. How many ships have we lost? Dex asked. Over 300 so far, Kex said, and we have not destroyed even one human ship. Dex's eyes widened in shock. That is impossible. If thousands of ships. They have only dozens. That is what we thought, Kex said. But human ships are much better than ours. They're faster, stronger, and we cannot see them coming. What about our superior numbers? Dex demanded. Numbers do not matter if you cannot. Hit your target, Kex explained. Human ships appear, attack, and disappear before we can fight back. It is like fighting ghosts. The alien commander pulled up a tactical display showing the galaxy. Red dots showed where alien ships had been destroyed. There were hundreds of them.
Yes.
They are not just attacking randomly, Kex said. They are targeting our communication hubs, our supply lines, and our command ships. They are taking apart our ability to coordinate our forces. Then send more ships, Thex said. Overwhelm them with numbers? Sir, we have tried that. Every ship we send just becomes another target. Humans are too fast and too smart. On a human stealth ship called the Soul, Captain Hyunsu Nam was preparing for another mission. His ship was invisible to alien sensors and could travel instantly anywhere in the galaxy. Target identified, his weapons officer reported. Alien. Command cruiser, 12 escorts moving through the Tau system. Any civilian ships nearby? Hyunsu asked. No, sir. The area is clear. Good, we attack only military targets, Hyunsu said. Prepare dimensional strike weapons. The human weapons were very different from alien weapons. Instead of shooting energy beams or missiles, they opened small dimensional rifts that could cut through any armor instantly. Weapons ready, sir. Fire.
Oh.
The alien ships never knew what hit them. One moment they were flying in formation, the next moment they were cut in half by invisible weapons. The human ship was gone before the aliens even realized they were under attack. Back in the command center on Earth, the reports kept coming in. The alien fleet at Procyon has been eliminated, one aide reported. The alien base at Wolf 359 is no longer operational, said another. Alien reinforcements heading to the Sirius system have been intercepted and destroyed, said a third. Taeyeon looked at the tactical display showing the entire galaxy. The red dots marking alien military positions were disappearing one by one. How long before their military command structure collapses completely? He asked Yuna. At this rate, maybe 2 more months, she said. They are losing ships faster than they can replace them. More importantly, they are losing experienced crews and commanders. And their morale? Very low. Alien crews are refusing to go on patrol. Some ships are deserting and returning to their home planets. On the Vorthon flagship, Gex was reading a message that made his blood cold. It was from the Hegemony High Command. All Hegemony ships are ordered to return to defensive positions around our home worlds, the message said. The war against the humans is suspended indefinitely. Sir, Zik said quietly, we are receiving similar messages from other alien governments. The Altarians are withdrawing their ships. Nexari are recalling their fleets. They are abandoning. The blockade? Gex asked in shock. Yes, sir. Each government is protecting their own territory now. The United Alien Fleet is breaking apart. Gex looked around his bridge at his tired crew. They had been fighting an enemy they could not see for months. They had watched hundreds of their fellow ships get destroyed while they accomplished nothing. His communication officer said, High Command is ordering us to return to Vorthon space immediately. Gex sat back in his command chair. The great alien blockade was over. The humans had won without fighting a single traditional battle. Set course for home, he said quietly, as the alien ships began to scatter back to their own territories, human. Observers watched from their invisible ships. The blockade is collapsing, reported Captain Jinwoo Lee from the Incheon. The alien alliance is falling apart. Mission accomplished, Admiral Taeyeon said from Earth. The aliens tried to cage us with superior numbers. They forgot that technology beats numbers every time. The galaxy was changing. The aliens who had ruled for centuries were discovering that their time was over. The humans they had tried to control were now the strongest military force in space. And the best part was, the aliens had done it to themselves. 1 year had passed since humanity walked away from the Galactic Council. The Great Crystal Hall on Nexus Prime was not as bright as it used to be. Many chairs were empty. The aliens who remained looked tired and scared. High Counselor Thak sat in his big chair, but he looked much older than before. His green scales were pale and dull. His sharp teeth seemed smaller. The proud alien leader was becoming a desperate one. Report on our current situation, Vex said in a weak voice. Counselor? Vex stood up slowly. His forearms shook as he held his papers. The news is very bad, sir. 17 member worlds have left the Council in the last month. Which ones? Vex asked, though he already knew the answer would hurt. The Terran Confederation was the first to leave, Vex said. They signed a trade agreement with the humans 3 weeks ago. The Kalari Union followed them 2 days later. The remaining aliens in the hall made worried sounds. Some clicked their claws nervously. Others buzzed their wings in fear. The Nexari Republic announced yesterday that they are opening diplomatic relations with Earth, Vex continued. The Altarian colonies said they will recognize human sovereignty next week. This is betrayal, Vex roared. but his voice was not as strong as it used to be. "We are the legitimate authority in this galaxy, sir," said Counselor Nex quietly. "Maybe we need to think about this differently. The humans are offering these worlds things we cannot provide." "Like what?" Thex demanded. "Food, medicine, protection," Nex said. "The humans are helping worlds that we cannot help anymore." On Earth, Foreign Minister Kyung Min-oh was meeting with a long line of alien ambassadors. Each one wanted the same thing: peace with humanity. "The Epsilon Consortium would like to establish formal trade relations," said Ambassador Tick, a small gray alien with big eyes. "We are prepared to offer full recognition of human independence." "What about the Council's orders not to deal with us?" Kung Min asked. Tick's eyes looked down at the floor. "The Council cannot protect us anymore. Our worlds are struggling. People are hungry. We need human help to survive." At the same time, Ambassador Rix from the Hegemony Union was making a similar request. "Our government has decided to withdraw from the Council completely," he said. "We want to be friends with the humans, not enemies." Kingman nodded. "The United Earth Federation welcomes friendship with all peaceful species, but we will not return to the Council system." "We understand," Rix said. "Many of us think the Council system was a mistake. The humans have shown us a better way." Back on Nexus Prime, the emergency council meeting was getting worse by the hour. Reports kept coming in about more worlds leaving the Alliance. "The Zenthon colonies have declared independence from the Council," announced Councillor Kex from the Outer Rim. "They are asking the humans for protection." "The Vega trade stations have stopped following Council regulations," said Councillor Yell. "They are trading directly with human merchants." "Even some of our core worlds are reconsidering their loyalty," added Councillor Dex. "The Arcturian system sent a secret message asking about the process for leaving the Council." Dex listened to each report with growing horror. The alliance he had ruled for decades was falling apart. Worlds that had obeyed the Council for centuries were abandoning it for the humans. "Why?" he asked the nearly empty hall. "Why are they choosing the humans over us?" "Because the humans treat them as equals," said a voice from the back of the hall. Everyone turned to see who had spoken. It was Councillor Lex from the Tau system, one of the oldest members of the Council. "Explain," Dex said coldly. "When the humans negotiate, they offer partnerships," Lex said. "When the Council negotiates, we demand submission. The humans share technology and help worlds grow stronger. The Council takes tribute and keeps worlds weak. Council provides order and stability," Dex said. "The Council provides control and fear," Lex replied. "The humans have shown these worlds what freedom looks like. Now they want it for themselves." The argument that followed was loud and angry. Some aliens still supported the old Council system. Others thought it was time for change. But everyone agreed on one thing: they were losing the war on a human diplomatic ship. Ambassador Sun Ho Yu was reading reports that would have seemed impossible a year ago. 43 worlds have requested some form of diplomatic relations with Earth, his aide reported. 37 of those want to leave the Council entirely. "What about the Council's threats?" Sun Ho asked. "Most worlds are ignoring them," the aide said. "The Council threatened to expel the Hegemony Union if they recognized human sovereignty. The Hegemony's response was to leave the Council voluntarily." Sun Ho smiled. "The Council's threats have become meaningless. They have no power to enforce them anymore." The truth was that the Council's military had been broken by the humans. Their economy was collapsing without human trade. Their political authority was being rejected by their own members. Back in the Crystal Hall, Councillor Nex was trying to convince Dex to face reality. "Sir, we need to find a solution," Nex said. "The Council is dying. Soon we will have no members left except the core worlds." "What do you suggest?" Dex asked bitterly. "We need to negotiate with the humans," Nex said. "Maybe we can offer them associate membership in the Council, give them some of what they want." "Never," Dex shouted. "They defied us. They must be punished." "Sir," Nex said carefully, "they are winning. Every day we continue this fight, we lose more allies and more respect." Other aliens in the hall nodded agreement. Even Nex's supporters were beginning to see that the situation was hopeless. Humans have made us look weak and stupid, Counselor Vex said. They broke our blockade, destroyed our military, ruined our economy, and turned our allies against us. And they did it all without declaring war. Then what do you want me to do? Savenda. We want you to be realistic, Nex. Said, the old galaxy is gone. The humans have changed everything. We can either adapt or disappear. The final blow came 3 days later. The Hegemony Union, one of the founding members of the Council, officially announced their withdrawal. After careful consideration, the Hegemony Union can no longer support the Council's policies, their statement said. We will seek bilateral relations with all peaceful species, including the humans. When Nex heard this news, he sat alone in his chair for hours. The great hall was empty except for him. The crystal walls still glowed, but the light seemed dimmer than before. What have we done? He asked the empty room. The answer was obvious. The Council had tried to control humanity and had destroyed themselves instead. They had demanded submission and received defiance. They had threatened punishment and received defeat. On Earth, President Minju Song was preparing for a very different kind of meeting. Representatives from dozens of former Council worlds were coming to discuss a new form of galactic cooperation. How should we handle this? Her advisor asked. Carefully, Minju said. We do not want to become the new Council. We want to build something better. And if Thix tries to negotiate, the advisor asked, then we will listen, Minju said. But only if he is ready to accept that the old system is dead. In space around Earth, ships from dozens of worlds were arriving. Each one carried representatives who wanted to be part of a new galactic community where humans were not subjects, but leaders. The Galactic Council was dying. From its ashes, something new was about to be born. 2 years after humanity walked away from the Galactic Council, the Great Crystal Hall looked very different. The chairs were full again, but the faces sitting in them had changed. Many were human faces now, sitting next to aliens who had chosen a new path. Ambassador Doyen Kim walked into the hall with confidence. This time, he was not coming as a subject to be lectured. He was coming as an equal among equals. High Counselor Vex still sat in the biggest chair, but his power was mostly gone. Only 12 worlds still followed the old council. The rest had joined something new, the galactic community. Call this meeting to order, said President Minju Song. She was the first human to lead a galactic government. Her voice was calm, but strong. Today we will vote on the final proposal for the new galactic constitution. The hall was full of representatives from 68 worlds. Humans sat next to Altarians. Former council worlds worked together with former human colonies. The old system of rulers and subjects was gone. Before we vote, Minju said, we should remember how we got here. She looked directly at Dex. The old alien leader looked tired and defeated. His green scales were almost gray now. 2 years ago, the council demanded that humanity surrender our freedom, Minju continued. They wanted to control our ships, our technology, our very lives, said no. The hall was completely quiet. Even the aliens who had once supported the council listened carefully. The council tried to punish us with blockades and threats, Minju said. They showed the galaxy that there was a better way to live. A way where worlds work together as partners, not as masters and servants. Counselor Nex, the bug-like alien, who had been one of the first to change sides, stood up to speak. I was there when the humans first refused our demands, he said. I thought they were foolish and arrogant. I was wrong. The humans were brave and wise. Other aliens nodded in agreement. They had learned that the humans were not the problem. The council system was the problem. Under the old council, Nex continued, strong worlds dominated weak ones. Rich worlds took from poor ones. The humans showed us that cooperation works better than domination. Ambassador Doyen stood up next. The United Earth Federation wants to make something clear. We do not want to rule the galaxy. We want to work with the galaxy. What is the difference? Asked Counselor Kex from one of the few remaining council worlds. Rulers take what they want, Dojon explained. Partners give what they can. Rulers demand obedience. Partners ask for cooperation. Rulers fear challenge. Partners welcome new ideas. Trade Minister Kyung Jin from Earth presented the economic proposal. Under the new system, every world keeps control of their own resources. Trade will be voluntary, not forced. No world will pay tribute to any other world. How will the community make decisions? Asked Ambassador Rix from the former Hegemony Union. By voting, President Minju said. Every world gets one vote, whether they have 1 million people or 1 trillion people. No world is more important than any other. This was completely different from the council system, where the biggest and strongest worlds made all the decisions. What? About military protection? Asked Representative Tick from the Epsilon Consortium. Each world will keep their own defense forces, Admiral Taeyeon Choi explained. But if a world is attacked, other community members can choose to help. No world will be forced to fight, but no world will fight alone if they do not want to. Councillor Vex listened to all these proposals with growing anger. Finally, he could not stay quiet anymore. This is chaos. He shouted. You are destroying thousands of years of galactic order. Without strong leadership, the galaxy will fall into war and destruction. The hall became quiet. Everyone looked at Dex, then at President Minju. Councillor Vex Minju said calmly, You are welcome to join the community. Your worlds can have the same rights and protections as everyone else. As equals, Vex asked bitterly. X equals, Minju confirmed. Vex sat back in his chair. The idea of being equal to worlds he had once ruled was hard for him to accept. What if we refuse, he asked. Then you are free to continue with your own government, Minju said. The community will not force anyone to join, but we also will not allow you to force others to stay away. This was the key difference. The old council demanded submission. The new community offered choice. I call for the vote, Minju announced. All in favor of establishing the galactic community under the proposed constitution. Hands, claws, tentacles, and other alien appendages rose. Throughout the hall, Doyon counted quickly. 59 votes in favor, he announced. All opposed. Only 9 hands went up. Vex and his remaining loyal worlds. The motion passes, Minju said. The galactic community is officially established. The hall erupted in celebration. Aliens from dozens of worlds cheered in their own languages. Humans clapped and shouted. Even some of Vex's former supporters looked relieved. What happens now? Asked Councillor Nex. And now we get to work, Minju said. We have a galaxy to rebuild. Over. The following months, amazing things began to happen. Trade between worlds increased dramatically. The new partnership system was much more efficient than the old tribute system. Human technology was shared freely with worlds that needed it. In return, other worlds shared their own knowledge and resources. The Altarians taught humans new farming methods. The Nexari showed them better ways to build cities. The economy is growing faster than ever before, reported Economic Coordinator Wonho Park at the first official community meeting. When worlds work together instead of competing, everyone benefits. Military cooperation was equally successful. When pirates attacked the Tau system, 12 community worlds sent help immediately. The pirates were defeated in days. This would never have happened under the Council, Admiral Taeyeon noted. The Council would have debated for months before, taking action. But the biggest change was in how worlds treated each other. The fear and suspicion of the Council era was replaced by friendship and cooperation. My people are happier than they have been in centuries, reported Ambassador Lix from the former Zenthon colonies. We are not afraid anymore. 6 months after the community was established, High Councillor Vex made a surprising announcement. The remaining Council worlds wish to apply for membership in the galactic community, he said in a message to Earth. President Minju received the message with mixed feelings. Are you sure about this? She asked her advisors. The community is about giving everyone a chance, Ambassador Doyon said. Even our former enemies. But can we trust them? Asked Admiral Taeyeon. We do not have to trust them, Minju said. We just have to be fair to them. If they follow community rules, they are welcome. If they do not, they will be asked to leave. Vex and his remaining worlds were accepted into the community as ordinary members. Vex himself became a regional representative, equal to dozens of other aliens. How does it feel to be just another member? Doyen asked Thex after his first community meeting. Thex was quiet for a long moment. Strange, he finally said, but not bad. I forgot what it was like to not have the weight of the entire galaxy on my shoulders. Do you regret what happened? Doyen asked. I regret that it took so long, Beck said. The humans tried to show us a better way 2 years ago. We were too proud to listen. 1 year later, Ambassador Doyen Kim stood in the same crystal hall where he had once been threatened and lectured. Now it was the meeting place of the Galactic community, where representatives from over 100 worlds worked together as equals. The universe is vast and full of wonders, he said to the assembled representatives. There's room for all of us to grow and prosper, only if we treat each other with respect and kindness. The hall that had once echoed with threats and demands now filled with applause and friendship. The age of galactic domination was over. The age of galactic cooperation had begun. And it all started because humanity refused to kneel.